I was raised being taught that our body tells us when it's good, it tells us when it's bad, and it talks to us and we need to listen. And so does our mind. We're a whole. So my dad used to always say to like if you want to succeed, you need to be healthy because if you're sick, you can't do anything. So you need to take care of your body. You need to take care of yourself.
Welcome to LoveliEsteem. I'm Lovelie, the auntie you always wanted, the sister girlfriend you didn't know you needed, honey. You got to have self-love to have self-esteem. And here we know that God don't make no junk. So we're going to sit down, talk about it, and see how we can fix it, baby. Let's do it. Hey guys, this is Lovely with LoveliEsteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. Yes, welcome back to a new episode. Today we're going to be speaking with Miss Sharmila Hall. Miss Hall is the founder and CEO, darling, of the SMB Global Marketing Company. It's a company that helps with digital marketing for small and medium businesses. I'm sure if you have a large business and you need her help, she will be there too. I think in this world, if you don't have a digital footprint, it makes it really hard to expand and grow. And sometimes as a business owner, you don't know what you don't know. And listen, there's a lot of things that I don't know. I don't like saying it all the time because I told my kids I know everything and I really don't. We're also going to talk about her upbringing and how it helped her become the CEO and founder of a company that is out here trying to help facilitate these wonderful steps because small businesses don't always have reference points. We don't always have spaces that we can go, people who can help us, genuinely help us without nickeling and diming us to death. And listen, baby, if I had a penny for every penny that I had, I would still be sitting here doing this podcast because I'm working on my money and, you know, the entrepreneur spirit. Go us. Anyway, enjoy the podcast, people. Hey guys, this is Lovely with LoveliEsteem, and welcome back to the Healing Through Conversations podcast. I appreciate you guys being here. Today we're talking to Miss Sharmila Hall. Let me tell y'all, I tell y'all every podcast, the names mean so much to me because there's so much in a name and it's the reason why we're here. We want to make sure that we say it right. I was interested in talking to Miss Sharmila because she connected with me through entrepreneur stuff, but I love that even though she's a founder and CEO of a global marketing company, when she connected with me, it was more on the holistic approach to life. It was more on mindset and how she became the person that she is now. And I think that sometimes we forget that that CEO, that boss lady, the bad boss baddie, they had to come from somewhere and trying to find that zen in that perfect space. Perfect doesn't really exist, but we're going with perfect. That perfect space doesn't always, it takes a lot of work to get there. So thank you so much for being a part of the podcast. Please introduce yourself. And like I said, give yourself all the flowers.
Thank you so much, Lee. I'm so excited to be here. What can I tell you? I'm going to actually mention about the name you were saying. My mama named me, and it was for a reason. So my mom is from India. And in India, you name your child based on when they're born. So there's a lot of things that go into it. And my name means humble. So it does have like a very, I like a lot my name. I like what it means. Think it walked with me through life. A bit about me. So yeah, I'm Sharmila Hall. I am the founder and CEO of SMB Global Marketing. We are a digital marketing agency, multilingual, that works with businesses in the US, but also outside of the US. We work with small and medium-sized businesses. And our focus, or what really sets us apart, is that we do offer tailored services based on each person's needs, because everybody is from their mama and their papa, and their business is unique as they are. And everybody has different budgets. And we are all entrepreneurs, or we all start as entrepreneurs. We go growing our business, but everybody deserves to have marketing. So we listen to the needs, we understand the growth goals, and then from there, we create that holistic marketing strategy to
Mhm.
help them grow. We don't say, no, you don't have a $10,000 marketing budget. I'm not going to work with you. It's not about that. It's about helping each other, helping other businesses get to where they want to reach, to grow, to succeed, to scale and become from an entrepreneur to a small business, from a small business to a medium-sized businesses, and some of them even corporations the day of tomorrow, because you need a good foundation to grow, and we're there to help businesses create that foundation with digital marketing techniques, because we're in 2024, and if you don't have digital marketing, you're non-existent.
So true.
Yeah, so actually, you mentioned like what is your favorite quote? You didn't mention it here, but when you were sharing a bit about the podcast, and I really love Maya Angelou, and I wanted to share the quote with everybody. So people will forget what you say, people will forget what you did, but people will never forget how you made them feel. And that's really what we're about. We collaborate, we create long lasting partnerships. We want to make people feel good, that they understand we're there to help them grow and they feel that,
Yeah.
because that's how you get real support. That's how we can achieve as a company our growth goals, by helping others that they feel that and that they share it with other people. So that was something that really touches me, that quote.
I love that. And I am 100% in agreement with, especially as we move forward in the world, because I think at some point it was all about how much money, how rich you looked, how wealthy you looked. And I think we're starting to get to a space in our lives where it's about who you are as a person, who you are as a company, the people who are running the company. How do they treat their family? Because how they treat their family is a clear representation on how they're going to treat me as a customer. And I think that connecting with your audience means that you have to portray, even digitally, like you said, you have to really be able to portray who you are, like extend yourself, which is uncomfortable because I was in the 90s. I remember when we had to take a camera, take a picture, mail it to somebody in order for them to know what we did, versus now with the cameras in the video, you know? And I know that in order to, you would have to get the excitement from the person directly in order to feel that love or understand what was going on. And now you really have to kind of niche yourself down and have a team around you who understands you and get your vibe.
Yes. Yes. And we're that outsourced team. Because again, going back to, you want to start your business. You can't do everything by yourself, but you don't have budget to hire employees. But you do need to delegate and outsource. So having a marketing agency next to you allows you to have a whole team of individuals that are experts in what they do, that can help you grow without having to do a regular payroll. So
And I will tell you, as a new entrepreneur, and I say new from 2021, so I'm just an infant. I'm learning how to pick my head up right now still. But initially I didn't start off wanting to be an entrepreneur. I just wanted to help people. And
mhm.
eventually it got to a space where entrepreneurship started looking a little more appealing the more I learned about it. Because I think that what marketing does for people like me, it helps you learn a little bit more. It gives you information, like it helps. I'm a person, I'm very literal. You
Mhm.
download the information into my brain. I understand what you said, then I can do what you told me to do. But if you just like start showing me pictures, I'm like, stop, stop. Now, plus, if you're also a stubborn entrepreneur, I'm going to raise my hand. You don't know how to ask for help. So sometimes having a team of people around you who say, okay, Lee, what do you need? What do you need? How can we assist you so that the load isn't as heavy? Really
You
helps.
You described it perfectly. And I think we all fall in the same pitfall of wanting to do everything ourselves, and is understanding when and what to delegate when we start growing internally, because we need to be able to step aside, breathe, enjoy life, to be able to give our 100% or our 200% on what we do on a daily basis on our work. But we have family, like I have two kids, I have a husband. Um, they are my number one priority. I know myself now. I know I need to breathe. I know I need to take a vacation every now and then. I want to be present for
Mhm.
my family. And if I don't delegate certain things, there's no way I will be able to do any of that. And it's a learning curve, it's a learning experience, and it's trial and error.
I know, busted knees and all. Like, how did you
Yeah.
fall? I was trying to put the light in, but didn't I tell you I would help you? I remember, but I wanted it done now. And I think that that's where a lot of us entrepreneurs kind of fall, because we have an idea and we want to get it done as soon as possible so it doesn't dissipate, you
Yeah.
know? Because I mean, I had to get myself out of the habit of getting up in the middle of the night and coming into my office, because my brain was like, oh, we want to do this. I'm like, but how are you going to be functioning the next day? Or why are you disturbing people? You're just walking around the house flicking on lights because you had an idea. But I really want to, so let's get to, how did you start your business? Growing
Yeah.
up, what was your idea of a successful businesswoman? And then how did it evolve into where you are now?
So I come from a family of entrepreneurs. And since I was a little girl, I loved business. I followed my dad everywhere. And so a bit more about background. So I come from a very holistic family. So my dad was a microbiotic doctor. So was my
Mm.
mom. So it was all about holistic medicine. I practiced yoga since I was a baby. I practiced meditation since I was a young kid. So I was luckily able to accompany my parents. And I remember following my dad, being a little girl, to with his clients, doing business, everywhere where he went, I wanted to follow him. They had a restaurant when I was 10 years old, and I would do some crafts and I would sell them in the restaurant. I was raised in Spain in a little village, in a fisherman village, so very different from what we live nowadays in the US.
Mhm.
I would see a family eating and I would approach them and I would look after their kids while they were eating so that they could eat comfortably. And sometimes they would give me a tip for that. And I was so happy just because I really enjoyed playing with kids. I thought it was a lot of fun. And I saw that, okay, it helped you and I had a good time. So why not continue doing it? So I was always having that entrepreneurship mind of let's do
Mhm.
this, let's do that. My mom would say, okay, you need this job and this job done. If you do it, I'll pay you. And maybe she'll pay you $1, a euro in my case. Um, and I was like, okay, I don't care how much it is. I'm going to do it because at least I can save up some money.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
always had that mentality growing up. I got into sales when I started my career. I enjoyed it. Luckily, I grew within the companies I was working with. Um, I love sales. I know a lot of people say they don't like selling, but I say sales is part of everybody's life because you sell yourself when you're finding a partner, you sell yourself when you're being hired for an interview, you sell yourself when you have your own business. So sales is part of life, and we actually help people solve problems or get certain needs. So it's not a bad thing. It's all
Mhm.
about the product or service that you offer.
Mhm.
So I definitely don't sell anything I don't believe in, and that I had it really clear growing up. But I fully love um, engaging with people in conversations and seeing if they have the needs for this service or product that I had to offer. And that helped me grow within my career. I became sales director in a company where I was for 11 years. Then I was relocated to the US and I was running our US office. So it was my first time doing pretty much everything for a business from start
Yeah.
without me having to put the funding, which is one of the hardest things.
Which is great. Top tier.
Yep. So that was a eye-opening, really hard learning experience because you come from a different culture, from a different country. Things are done very, very differently, but it's all about learning. And I love learning. So I just sat down with paychecks and with HR teams. I signed up for SCORE mentorships,
Score is
and
wonderful.
it is.
Score is
It
great.
is.
It's so much knowledge for almost no money at all. So great.
Exactly. I was lucky that I didn't have to pay absolutely anything for my mentor. And I was able to ask any questions, sit down with him, and my mentor helped me validate that I was doing the things correctly. When you are with big teams, international teams, sometimes you hesitate if you're doing the things right because you have different people telling you different things, and
Mhm.
you do see that growth, but it's a lot. It can become a lot
I
to
agree with
run
you.
a company, to have a team, to scale that team, to achieve big picture goals. So I did it for 6 years. Suddenly, COVID hit, and in the travel industry, I got a bit afraid because I have a family, and talking to my husband was like, what do we do? So we decided to create a backup plan. I was still working in my regular job, but I've started a CBD e-commerce company.
Mhm.
I did a bit of due diligence, but it was my second business venture. The first one was a pretty quick start, and okay, this is not going to work. So I won't talk about that one today.
We all get stuck. Look, we all have the moments where you're like, this is gonna be great. And then you wake up one day and like, I don't want to do this one. This is
Yeah,
the one.
better get out of it on
Yes.
time rather than spending too much, like wasting time unnecessarily. So we started the CBD company. I we realized it's not easy or very feasible to sell CBD online because you have a lot of restrictions. Even
Oh.
though it is because it's a cannabis product, but we sold broad spectrum CBD, so it had no THC, but
Mhm.
still there's a lot of regulations around it.
Yeah.
So we couldn't advertise on social media platforms or in search engines. Um, so we were left with the word of mouth, and word of mouth doesn't really help you grow too much.
Yeah.
Again, I love learning. 2020 was also a year to continue developing and finding shifts. So I decided to dive deeper into digital marketing. I studied international commerce previously, and as I was mentioning, I worked as an executive in sales, business operations, and I pretty much ran a whole office of an international company in the US and worked with our teams abroad. So I had knowledge of marketing, putting it in place in small and medium-sized businesses where I previously worked,
Mhm.
but I wanted to expand that knowledge. So I got certified as a digital marketing professional and started doing digital marketing as a freelancer. I have my full-time job, I have my family, I have the the CBD company, and I'm freelancing in digital marketing.
You sound like an entrepreneur. That's what you sound like to me. You sound like a pure entrepreneur.
But fast forward 2023, we decided we needed to make a very big investment into the CBD company if we wanted to scale it. We both had our full-time jobs, and we decided, okay, we learned a lot, but this is not what we want to do.
Mhm.
We're going to continue with our careers. I did enjoy a lot digital marketing. I really enjoyed all the businesses I was working with, all the businesses I was able to help, and I decided to turn that into a business once the CBD company was closed. So 2023, we established SMB Global Marketing. We start um, growing our team. we work with a team of contractors
Mm-hmm.
rather than employees because, and we understand small businesses because we are a small business ourselves. So, not a great idea to hire a lot of employees when you're just starting unless you have big funding behind you because it's a monthly expense that is very high. But you do need a team. So,
Mm-hmm.
contractors are a great way to start establishing your team. I work with the same contractors constantly. Luckily, is people I had worked with in the past. So it's been an amazing experience. And to date, like we form a very good team and we can deliver very good results thanks to that. And in 2024, January, I quit my full-time job and I said, okay, I really want to make this company grow. This is my calling. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy helping businesses. And there's a lack of support to
Mm-hmm.
small businesses and medium-sized businesses with marketing because of the funding, because of the budget. But you can do so many things if you just listen to the growth goals of these businesses and adapt to that. So my goal, continue helping and making sure that no matter if you're a mom and pop's little store, or you have a tech company and you're just starting, or you have 20 employees but you started out and suddenly you grow and you realize, okay, I didn't do the things really right. We have a bad image across platforms because we don't have a unified presence, which is
Yeah.
essential if you want to continue scaling. We sit down, we help, we have strategies for different levels, and we really enjoy what we do because we deliver results. So those happy customers, those reviews is what really fulfills and tells me, okay, we're in the right path. We're doing a good thing because you can show up as good as a corporation. You just need to have a good branding behind you. You just need to have a good SEO behind you. You just need to have that professional website. We can all make it.
I love it. And I usually I'll tell people all the time. I'm like, if I look like I paused on you, it's not. It's I'm watching you enjoy talking about what you do. Because I think that for a business owner, when you enjoy what you do, when you have like such pride behind what you're doing, and people allow you to have that like space to talk about it, it is something that nobody can deny. Like it is a energy that nobody can deny. And I never want to knock that energy off because we're supposed to be proud of what we're doing. We're supposed to like I know that the work world makes you feel like you're not supposed to enjoy what you do, but and you're supposed to enjoy what you do. You're supposed to enjoy the people that you help. And it's not everybody. Like if you're a business owner and 85% of the people love what you do, you are immaculate. You are top tier because there's always going to be that margin of people who complain about toilet paper. And then there's just going
Yes,
to be a margin of
absolutely.
people who really thought that you were going to turn into Superman and like change their lives. And you have to have something to work with in order for the marketing company to come in and do the work. Like you have to still, as a business owner, be currently doing the work to make sure that when a company like yours comes in, they have something to work with, is tangible information to
Yes.
be able to, because I think that when people think about entrepreneurship, they're like, I'm going to start a business tomorrow. And you can't, because in the state of Maryland, within 4 hours, you could have a business name, you can have your EIN number, and you could be off and running. However,
Yeah.
if you don't know how to run your business, you will shut it down very fast.
Yep. Yep.
And I don't want to do that. I just don't want to do that. But so how do you like balance your work life? I know you say you love going on vacation with your family, but how does your upbringing play a part in how you balance this entrepreneur spirit that you have with this like bad boss, like doing some things, changing lives?
So I was raised being taught that our body tells us when it's good, it tells us when it's bad, and it talks to us, and we need to listen. And so that's our mind. We're a whole. So my dad used to always say, to like, if you want to succeed, you need to be healthy, because if you're sick, you can't do anything. So you need to take care of your body. You need to take care of yourself. The moment you stop taking care of yourself, we fall sick. And that happens mentally, and
Mhm.
it happens physically. And mentally, we affect ourselves a lot also when we think on bad things, when we underestimate ourselves, when we think bad about ourselves, when we don't love ourselves.
Mhm.
So I try to always, first of all, set boundaries. So I have my work hours, which I try to combine them with the time my kids are in school. um, I love entrepreneurship, I'm going to say, and because of the flexibility in the schedule, so I can stop working and be with them, but
Mhm.
then I happily come back to work at 8 o'clock and maybe stay until 2 a.m. So people think, oh, I'm an entrepreneur, the whatever. I don't have to work more than 3 hours a day. It's not like that. You
No.
have more flexibility in your schedule, but you need to be self-taught and have that discipline to do what you need to do. And for that, you need to love what you do also. So yes, I set my schedules, but I know I need to get certain things done. I'm very like disciplined in my way of thinking. I did
Yeah.
track all my life. I think doing sports is very good because it helps our brain. It helps us set schedules. It helps us have big desires to achieve goals. So I think it's been a positive experience in my life to have done sports all the time. I meditate, as I was saying. I go to the gym and I take some time to meditate. There's a spa in the gym, like a sauna.
Yeah.
And so when I'm there, I just take a few minutes to set, not so much set my goals, but reinforce my goals.
Yes.
Tell myself what I want to achieve, why
Mhm.
I'm going to achieve it.
Mhm.
And yeah, I just tell myself, you can do it. You're going to get this. I have the strength. And it's just personal reinforcement. Again, that gives me strength. When my daughter has a birthday, when my son has a birthday, I take that day off because I want to be with them. So it's all about setting boundaries, but also making sure that you dedicate the time to things that fulfill you. So for me, being with my family fulfills me. If I accomplish that fulfillment, I feel like I've been there. I'm
Mhm.
totally fine in taking 3, 4 coffees. And I say 3, 4 coffees because after two, I'm already hyper.
You are with look, I do one coffee a week because I'll be running around this house like a crazy person. And I said, mm-mm, I don't like the way that feels. I don't think I should have that kind of energy every day. Like it's not useful.
It's not good. It's not good. I'm telling you, I can do one. I do one every day. I take my second. I only do a third or fourth if I really need to meet certain deadlines, and I haven't had the time to set there. So everybody has to find their boundaries. I
Yes.
had a friend that used to tell me, like, she would stay at work for many, many hours, like 12, 13 hours. And I would ask her, why don't you go home? Why don't you do something different? And she's like, I don't have a family. I don't really have many things to do. And I would always tell her, it doesn't matter. You need to enjoy what, like, your life, because life you only have one, and you don't need a family to enjoy. You love singing, you love dancing, go and do what you do. Get together with your girlfriends and just have fun, but don't stay 12, 13, 14 hours at work, because when you get out of there, or when you retire, you don't know what to do with your life, because your
Yes.
life was all around working, working, working. And working is good, but it's not the only thing in life. And
Absolutely.
I think we all need to understand that and set those differences. Like,
Yeah, but I think in the culture in the United States is just work you to a dog, work you like a dog. And you really have to, and I think like I love what I'm seeing in the mental health, like holistic space as we try to maneuver people, because I know work-life balance, people are tired of hearing that, but
Hmm.
it really is life-work balance because you have to be alive in order to work. You just, that's
Yes,
kind of the way it has to work out. I mean, I know
exactly.
it's crazy to like think about it like that, but you really have to be here and you have to enjoy what you do in order to be around so many people and have their energy touching you on a consistent basis, because most entrepreneurs kind of start in the full-time work, part-time entrepreneur, and you try to figure out how to get that life to cross over. So now the entrepreneur, maybe you're doing something part-time, and then eventually you don't have to do that anymore. But
Yeah.
also understanding that your worth isn't just surrounded around having children and being married. You as a person have so much worth.
Yes.
You have so much value. Like you are the it person until somebody tells you otherwise. And
And if you don't love yourself, you can't love others.
others, yep, yep, and you can be kind to others. And if you're frustrated all
Exactly.
the time, and it was interesting because I used to be a 10 to 12-hour worker. And in my head, I thought that it was helping me advance. Like it was getting me to, and it did somewhat. But it also made it so that when I stepped out of work, as you said previously, it made it so hard to connect with other people because I wasn't a part of the happy hour crew. I
Hmm.
wasn't a part, because you're trying to build that career. But at some point, you have to realize that your body takes on the stress that we put on it. So like mental stress also affects your organs, it affects your nervous system.
Yes.
And we need to think about that. I'm not saying that working hard doesn't pay off. Sometimes it does. Other times it just depends on who you work with or what you're trying to do to get to the next level in your life.
I 100% agree on that. And to go further into that topic, I myself did it also. I was telling you before I had that full-time job, I had the e-commerce side. I was doing marketing as a freelancer, and I still had the family, and I need to take care of myself. You need to sleep. You need to rest at some moments. Um, but I burned out myself,
Mm,
and
mm,
because I have been raised and I do really have that inside me of health is very important and I need to take a break. Otherwise, I can't function. After a certain time, I started saying, okay, I need to cut out here, I need to cut out there.
mhm,
And you become happier, but not only that, you become more effective because we
yes,
can't be everywhere. So, as you just said, hard work pays off, but you need to have goals of I'm doing all this hard work because I'm going to reach here in a
mhm.
certain amount of time. And within that time frame, I need to liberate from several things because otherwise it's not sustainable.
No, it's not. It's not sustainable. And I wish that we could really push the word burnout and help people understand. Like a lot of us are overthinkers. A lot of us, we don't just burn out. Like we start burning bridges because
Yeah.
when you're that exhausted mentally, you you're not effective in your relationships. You're not effective in any other facet of your life because you're just trying to stay afloat. Because eventually, like I always tell people, think about it when the doctor says you need to take your pain medicine before the pain kicks in so that you can control it. It's the
Hmm.
same way in your life. You have to take control of your life before it starts to roll over you, because and it happens so fast. You'll be like, everything is great in 2 weeks from now. Like, call, so Lee, what's going on? I can't talk right now. I'm all on fire. I can't do it. And it doesn't mean that it won't happen, because sometimes life just presents situations that are out of our
Yes.
control. Spiritually, you have to find a space within yourself that's safe where you trust that the process is going to play itself out. And that by itself is that's a journey. That's a journey. It doesn't always happen so fast, and you have to trust who you are outside of your parents and your caregivers and your family, because once you have to take responsibility for how you feel and what you do as a person in order to get to the next levels in your life. And that's personal or business.
That's so right. And I think it's very easy to be afraid. It's very easy to think we're doing the things wrong. And it's very difficult to risk.
Mm,
And we know that we need to risk to reach certain goals, to reach
hmm.
certain places in our life. But that self-esteem, talking to ourselves, believing in ourselves is so essential, especially when you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't rely on a paycheck, you're trying to make changes in your life, you don't like your regular job, you don't like your boss, you want to get out of what you're doing. How do you do it if you don't believe in yourself? And we all go through that. To anybody listening that's feeling that right now, it's normal. Just trust yourself because things work out and there's a path for everybody. So just
Know
follow the
that.
path. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and I
And
love
you'll
that
get
because
there.
I tell people, I'm like, Oprah had low self-esteem. Steve Jobs, low self-esteem. Like, it doesn't mean that they didn't eventually believe in themselves, but everybody goes through this yin and yang of, and some of it is just wisdom, right? Like, as you get older, as you have more experiences, you understand that this too shall pass really is not just a phrase, it is a true fact. Because the world is going to spin. It's going to be day and it's going to be night. That's the way it works, unless you're in the part of the world where it's just day forever, which I'm not
Yeah.
even sure how you function like that. But but I think that when we are looking at other people for validation and we're trying to affirm what we're doing in our lives, that one of the best things you need to like really feed yourself is understand that every word is a curse word if it's not said with good intent. Every word. And how you speak to yourself in your head is so important. It's more important than what you say out loud because we're all critics of ourselves. And especially if you want to be an entrepreneur, you've had that day when you sat down and was like, what am I doing? Am I good enough?
Yes.
Why did I say I was going to do this? I wonder if I can get my old job back? Like, wait a minute, But it's then saying, I trust that the path that I'm on and the steps that I'm taking will lead me to this next place in my life. And understand that when you learn to trust yourself, it'll be easier to trust other people. When you don't trust yourself, you
Yes.
won't be able to trust the team. And like you said, you trust your team because you know that they're gonna they're gonna do the same thing every time. But if you didn't trust you, like Miss Hall don't trust herself, so I can't trust y'all people. Like, you sure you know what you're doing? Show it to me.
Definitely, definitely. And yeah, it's so hard at times, as you're saying. And that's why you need a network of people, no? Like entrepreneurs,
Mhm.
like networking groups, mentors, because we fall on the same pitfall constantly of, oh, I'm not sure
I
we'll
know we
go
think
through
we're
that
so
moment.
special. I'm not gonna do that. 3 days later, oh,
Yes, you say, why didn't I keep my job? That's going to happen one day a week until you really grow. You're big.
it is, and I think but that's like, you know, a that really reflects the passion that you have in yourself. Like sometimes I think I'll speak for myself. I try to make I statements. I'm really big into that. I just think it helps you as a person grow and it helps other people connect with you. But I feel passionate about something, I want to learn. I want to spend the extra hours to understand it. I want to be better at it. And I don't want to be better at it so that I can beat somebody else. I want to be better at it to be good and great at something. And it makes a difference because you can like something, you can love something, but having a passion for something, it's a different kind of fever, especially in the world. And it doesn't mean you have to become an entrepreneur. You can be passionate about what you're doing in your corporate setting and be the best person in that space.
Yes. Yeah, it's definitely fulfilling, and it goes back a bit to what we were discussing before. Sometimes you need to stay up till very late or wake up really early at 3 a.m., at 4 a.m. to get certain things done. And you really need to enjoy what you're doing so that it's not a burden and you don't burn out.
Mhm.
And it completely agree with what you just said. It doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur, if you're in a corporate setting, just be happy with what you do. I believe in happiness. I think that's one of my strongest beliefs. I think we should all be happy in our life. And if you're not happy, you need to change something to become happy. And I think a lot of people don't really realize that or don't think about it, but happiness is the real fulfillment, and it can come by studying. There's people that love learning and
Mhm.
they're lifelong learners. And that's really what fulfills them. Then you should continue doing that. There's people that like entrepreneurship, that like helping others, then continue doing that. But make sure whatever you do, it really makes you happy and you take that moment to enjoy the happiness. Something I do to because it makes me happy is just sit down. Right now I live in front of mountains, so I like to sit down in the evenings or in the morning and just look at the mountains, having
Mhm.
that moment of breathing, sometimes with a cup of wine, with a beer, with a water, a coffee.
Mhm.
But I like to
Mhm.
just sit down there and breathe,
That's
feel
me and
alive.
trees. Me and trees. The color green. I just love, I'm like, all of this is, it's here without me even having to do anything. Like, this is the blessing
Yeah.
to be able to sit in a space and look at these things. And, you know, maybe you love the skyline, you know, and you may be in Chicago and you have a beautiful skyline and you love the lights, but like
Yes.
finding a center and, you know, when, and understanding that happiness is not, it doesn't have to be this monumental task. It doesn't have to be this big turn of events,
No.
right? Like, you may find joy in your fur baby. You may find joy in a
Yes.
friend. You may find joy in a book. You may find like, but find something that like helps you turn off some of that bitterness that the world can insert. Like, it literally inserts it into your everyday, and
Yes.
finding that space. Because, you know, I think for me, most of the people who I've met who are genuinely so happy don't usually have a lot. It's like inside of them, they're just these glowing, amazing, wonderful people who are elated with life, and they find happiness in the small things that sometimes we take for granted when you're in this big world trying to like make it, and not understanding that making it really means that you have to find some joy in this space. You have to find a safe space where you and your family can be together, or you and your friends can be together, and there's no animosity and fear attached to it.
Yes. 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 Um, I love traveling. I love meeting people from all around the world. And I think you can create great partnerships, great friends with
Yes,
people from everywhere, from different
every.
cultures, from different backgrounds, because there's that stop of judgment,
Mhm,
especially
mhm.
with certain people. It's hard. It's hard. You talk to some people that are very not not square. I
But a
can't
little more
describe the word.
narrow-minded in the way they see the world. Like, yeah,
Exactly. And you're
yeah.
trying to open yourself, but you realize it's not the setting where you
Yeah, it's
can
not gonna work
open.
for you. This is not my safe space. Aboard, aboard, not my safe space.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when we're always surrounded by the same people, sometimes we can't really find that connection. And being able to say your truth, being able to open up fully, to communicate. I think
Mhm.
communication is so essential. I constantly tell my kids, like, it's important to talk, say your feelings. We all need people with whom we can open, and opening up to other mm, cultures, other backgrounds,
Yes.
makes you find people with whom you can connect, because we're
Yes.
no longer talking of you meet 100 people and you find one. It's about you meet 1,000 people that have different thoughts, different ways of being. Then you can find 10 with who you can communicate. And that also brings joy and happiness because you let things out.
Yes. Yeah, and different people, different cultures, different spiritual spaces bring out different parts of who you are.
Yes,
You
and you need to
know?
let them all out because
Yes.
they're all part of you.
It's so many and I because I work in the mental health space and the legal space, you realize that there's so much when you say stuff like there's so many personalities inside of a person that legally they're like, what do you mean? Why would that be? And with mental health, I'm like, no, really listen to yourself. You are not the same person in every space that you travel in, even if you fundamentally have the same beliefs and characteristics. But friend A could bring out the laughter in you. Friend B could bring out the sensitivity in you. Friend C could be a person that you're intellectual with and y'all connect. But when you guys are all together, it gives y'all a chance to have that like those connections where you get to send that energy around because you don't want your energy to be square, right? You're trying to have it round so it hits everybody, you feel good, you
Yeah.
connect, you're able to express yourself. Self-expression is so important to you being able to calm your emotions down, calm your hormones down. And we don't think of it that way because it's like if you ever had like that belly laugh, that laugh that makes you snort, when you finish laughing, you feel so good. Now,
Yes.
what you were laughing about, judge yourself. I laugh at a lot of things, but that feeling of like that I always say elated. When you can get to the elated stage in your day where your kids may do something hilarious and you and your husband kind of look at each other and you know you aren't supposed to laugh, but you can't help it. You're like, who taught this child that? Because it wasn't me. You know, like
Yeah.
and your spouse looks at you and go, "Oh no, babe, that's you. 100% that's you." I didn't do it because I have 3 kids. All of mine are in their 20s, and I get to see. I love watching them grow. I love them allowing me to be a part of their lives in their 20s. It's so different because they
Yeah.
don't need me to hold their hand in the same way that they did when they were taught. Now they're like, help me maneuver life. And I may not do the right thing all the time, but are you going to be here? Because that's what they're looking for, that validation and looking for that comfort. Are you going to still be here? Like now,
Yes.
I always say when your kids are before 18, they run over to you and be like, did you see me, mom? Did you see me? Did you see me, mom? And you're like, okay. After 18, they just kind of look and smirk like, I saw
Not
that.
saying anything. Yep, yep. Mine's are teens, and I'm just well, I have a teen and a tween. So I'm starting to get into those looks of I'm a grown up, but I still need you. Sometimes I'm gonna
It's
do you
so
my
wonky.
little eyes. What are you talking about? You know
You
nothing
don't know,
anymore.
mom. You're not in the know. What?
Yeah.
I don't want to know. Like, I just want a glass of wine. I came in the house for a glass of wine. Please.
Yeah, but it's fun. I think it's so much fun to see them grow, learn from them, be there with them, and make them be part of your life.
Mm-hmm.
My daughter, for example, she helps me with the marketing agency. She does all the social media video editing for our company itself. And I love it because she does it better than I or many of the other people I work with.
So
Um,
true.
she studies film studies at school. I mean, now with this new generations, they have different subjects than the ones we had when we were
I
growing
just
up.
sometimes I'm a little bit jelly. I'm a little bit. I'm like, I didn't even know that was I had a choice. What was that?
Exactly. You can do film studies. She was social media manager in ASB. And I'm like, really? She's like, Mommy, I need to open an Instagram account because I need to be posting for school. Really? For school?
Yep.
So once I started seeing all her work, it's like, wow, that's amazing. Here, you want to help out? Get them involved with what you're doing
Yeah.
because it helps them grow. It gives them a good job. I mean, when you're 15, being a social media manager, um, working on your schedule, being able to
Be flexible,
be
but
flexible
also
with school.
building up that CEO founders type, grit that you need, and watching mom
Yeah.
go through things. And you're right. This generation is like computers because it's a part of who they are. It's just
Yes.
they're already digitally downloaded. Like they are the digital generation for real.
They
We go
are. And
through
if they,
something.
there you go. And if they like it, why not support them with that? And as you said, getting that entrepreneurship grid, getting some real life experience. What I tell her, when you get to college, you can already put a few more things in your resume and you can show your work. You have a portfolio. That's things that we should consider instead of throwing them out of our lives and what we do and thinking, no, I'm working, you
Yeah.
stay there, I stay here. No, come see what I do. You
I
want to
love
help?
Yeah, it makes such a big difference, and it helps you stay connected because
Yes.
there are going to be times in your life where your children, everybody, even in your marriage, sometimes you're growing in different spaces, you're
Mm-hmm.
having different conversations, and you have to find those things that still connect you so that you can stay connected until you start growing back together. And that happens with
Yes.
your children. I just, they're still people, right? And they develop their own sense of self. Sometimes they have way more self-confidence than we had. Like they just are out here so proud of who they are. And a lot
Mm-hmm.
of that has to do with us growing and becoming and healing ourselves and learning how to speak to ourselves, and also changing the generational wording, the phrases that we use when we're talking to our children. It changes the way they see themselves. But
Yeah.
she's gonna be like, yeah, I did that 15. So I don't have time for that. Like really, that's what's up. Or also she'll be able to train the next person who comes along who needs to help you. This is what
Yeah.
my mom likes. This is what the company looks good doing. This is what we have. Here are the templates. Work it out. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. Thank you. My daughter tells me all the time, no, mom, you should do this, this, and this. You should do these next things for your videos. That'll work out. Or if I'm doing something, she'll be like, good job. I'm like, you like
Yeah. Yeah, she does that. She does a lot of transitions. And like today we were recording and I try to have a few educational scripts because the social media channel is mainly educational. I'd like
that?
to provide support for the businesses. But then she's like, aren't we going to record anything funny? We need to do some transitions. Let's do some fun. And I'm like, absolutely. You tell me what to do
I will do it.
and I'll do it. Just give me the ideas because you are constantly checking the Instagram, you're checking all this trendy music, you're checking everything that goes on. So it's fun. It's a lot of fun and fine. I am reading right now the book Good to Great from Jim
Mhm.
Collins.
Mhm.
I really like it. And one of the things that it mentions is you want to have a great team, but there is a person for each position. And I feel like that with the team I work with, the team that we are right now, there's someone that excels at what they do, and that includes a teenager doing social media. I
Yeah.
mean, you have the age for working and you do it great. Let's give opportunities to the young generations. And I'm going to say that that's very good for entrepreneurs to keep in mind
Mhm.
because they charge you less and you need to open opportunities for young generations. You can't just ask for show me your curriculum. You don't have 10 years of experience. I don't want to hire you. And if you want to hire someone with 10 years of experience, you also have to pay for that. So
Absolutely.
give opportunities and you will be surprised with the results. And
Absolutely.
again,
And to piggyback on that, you can't have years of experience if nobody's going to let you work.
exactly.
I'm like, so you want me to graduate from high school with 5 years of experience? Where? I was playing volleyball. Like this, volleyball was my years of experience, people.
Yeah.
So I agree with you 100%. Like, if you, but also understanding that younger and older, each generation has great ideas to contribute to growth.
Yes.
And
Yes.
for me, I say all the time, all of my kids are Gen Z, like last millennial, then Gen Z. And they have opened my mind to so many wonderful things and even changed my outlook and my views on some things that I held steadfast that weren't really helping me grow. But like their generation, they're at because they want to talk to you, they want to communicate, they want you to tell them why. Why can't I do this? And we are used to it feeling like a defiance, but they're
Mm-hmm.
like, no, help me understand why this is a fear for you so that I can make a better judgment, or so I'm not as bitter
Mm-hmm.
about the decision versus you just saying because I said so, because just because you said so don't mean I'm going to do it. Like you just won't know I'm going to do it. I'm like, okay. Mm.
Yeah, you're right. The explanation.
Yeah, I know you're in that
What?
space. You're in the space of why, but why, but
Yeah.
why? You're like, it's like an owl in here. Who just make it?
It's like, okay, I don't know what else to tell you. It used to be easier in that aspect. Yeah. Mommy said so. You have to do it.
Yep, the minute that but you raise strong thinkers, and we
Yeah.
need people who aren't afraid to
To
speak
ask.
up for themselves and to
Yeah.
ask, because the people who are victimized the most are the people who are afraid to speak up, the people who
Yeah.
they know that they can take advantage of. And if you have a child that's like, I'm not going to do that, you're like, I don't want to mess with that kid. Like, never mind. Like, I don't want to do it. But before we wrap up, okay. So if anybody wants to reach you,
Hmm.
how do they find you? What are your handles? All the things.
Absolutely. So our website is smbglobalmarketing.com. SMB stands for small and medium-sized business. So very simple, smbglobalmarketing.com. And our social media handles are at SMB Global Marketing. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And you're going to find mainly educational content and some fun videos here and there in all the social media handles. So I invite everybody to follow us, because whether you're ready to start working with a marketing agency or not, just hearing the tips that we constantly share can be very useful. And then the moment you're ready, you can visit our website, you can send us a DM, you can call us, whatever is easier for you. But as I said, the goal of SMB Global Marketing is to listen to your needs and help you craft that digital strategy to help you grow. And I didn't mention it before, maybe it was understood because it's global marketing, but we do multilingual marketing. So multilingual websites, multilingual SEO. So whether you're in the US but want to expand your audience and reach, for
Mm,
example, a Spanish-speaking audience, a French-speaking audience, or I mean, Mexico and the US are so close by. If you
yeah.
think you have a product that could also perform well in your nearby country, Canada, Mexico, contact us. We can also help with that. We work with global companies and we work with national companies. So I'm here to help.
I love it. She was like, let me explain 1 second. Let me make sure you understand. I can help you speak the language that works best with the audience that you work with.
Exactly, because it's not just your language, it's about them. Understand who you're talking to, understand who is going to buy from you. And we help you with all that. I know marketing can be overwhelming, but that's why you outsource the team.
You absolutely find a team. Trust me. I'm like, I promise you, from the beginning of the entrepreneurial journey till now, that's like has always been my goal. I'm like, okay, so eventually all of this has to be outsourced. Somebody, because you can't content create and edit and focus on branding and focus on marketing. And at some point, you're just awake.
Yep.
And I'm cranky if I don't get a nap. Napping is a hobby for me now. I've turned it back into a toddler. Goldfish, nap in the juice box. I can be your best friend.
I love it.
It makes me so happy. But I thank you so much for being on the podcast. I love
Thank you.
how you love your family. It means so much to me because, like, my family is my number one priority. Like, it doesn't matter what I have to do. If somebody in my family says, "Mom, I need you," I'm rescheduling because I don't know what tomorrow brings. I don't make the assumption that I'm going to get to say goodbye or goodnight every single like every single
Mhm.
day. And I want to enjoy things and be as present as I can. And it doesn't work all the time because sometimes your brain is just scattered. But like, I love when I meet people who value friendship, value partnership, value relationships, because it means that when you're talking to the audience that works best for you, you'll be able to better connect with them. And that's beautiful. Like, that's top tier for me. Top tier, as the kids would say. I just aged myself, didn't I?
It sounded great.
Okay, that's what we're gonna go with. We're gonna go with that take. But I appreciate you really being here and also providing such a service that allows small businesses to feel like they're building, because it does, as a small business owner, it doesn't always feel like there are spaces for you to go to, like spaces and businesses for you to go to who are willing to help you out.
Exactly. That's the challenge that we are here to support. There aren't that many places that are willing to hear you out. And those that are there sometimes are willing to help, and sometimes they're just going to get your bugs because it's more like, yeah, since your budget is low, I'm just going to provide basic, and you see where you get with that.
Yeah,
Um, but we need more people that support each other.
I love it. I love it. So we're going to make sure that I add everything, all your handles and everything to the videos. I want
Thank
to
you.
make sure that you are getting promoted. I have enjoyed this conversation so much. I hope that it cools down where you are and that you get some reprieve from the heat.
Thank you. Thank you. Um, Thank you again for the opportunity. I loved chatting with you. I loved the opportunity of being in the podcast. It was a very nice conversation that came natural. So I'm very, very thankful for that.
You are so welcome. And again, if you start doing something in the future, or you expand your services, you're always welcome to come back on the podcast, talk about it. I love people being able to promote and talk about the things that they are doing and accomplishing, because it's so hard out here. It's hard
It
to get
is.
your name out, but it's hard to find safe places to just be. And
Yes.
I love it. It makes me happy. It brings me joy. I love that.
Thank you. And I'll be resharing, repromoting, and hopefully you get more listeners, more viewers, more marketing for your business so you can also continue growing and scaling, because I appreciate what you do. Not a lot of people let you just open up, and I think that's very important. So I'm love what you do.
Thank you. Look, and you helped me out. That was affirmation that I needed today. You affirmed some things. Because we all have these moments where you're like, am I doing the right thing? I feel like I'm doing the right thing, but I'm like, am I being narcissistic? Oh Lord, I'm looking at TikTok too much. I need to pay attention to myself.
No, what you do is great. And again, we need more of us to be out there helping each other, because it's hard.
It
It's
is.
hard, and we need to get the word out there. And the more relations we can build, the more we can help each other elevate. And really, as you said, there wasn't that many CEOs and founders back in the day, but now we're doing it. We
We are
are
doing it, and we
showing our
look good
strength.
doing it too, people.
Exactly.
We look good
Exactly.
doing it. So don't sleep on us. And I'm just letting you know. I can beat cookies and take over your business too. I'm just letting you know.
Exactly. Exactly. We have the strength.
We do.
We
We have
have the
strength. And
strength.
that's a huge part of my platform. I started this platform because I needed to hear some things as a woman, connecting with other women, but also I wanted to be able to connect with men as well about mental health and about growth and about our experiences and how it connects us. We're all in these different parts of the world going through the same thing, thinking we're special, thinking that I'm the only one feeling like this, or thinking I'm the only one who's been through this thing. And when you get to talk to another person who is outside of your 5 mile radius and you realize, oh, it's all of us. We're all out here fighting for our lives in the comment section. Okay, all right. And we all get to enjoy that and have these meaningful conversations that spark thoughts that help us grow and our businesses grow. Why not do that? Like, why not
Yeah.
spread the wealth? Because wealth isn't always about money. Sometimes it's about knowledge. Majority of the time, it's more about knowledge than it is about the money. So
Yeah.
that's my spiel for the day, y'all. I'm sorry. That's all I have. But I appreciate you being here. I will definitely be in contact. This
Thank
is
you, Lee.
so wonderful. I love how much you love your family. It means so much to me. I just love it so much.
Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Really appreciate it. Have a good evening.
You too, sweetheart.
Okay. Bye.
Bye-bye. Hey guys, so wasn't that great? One of the big things that I love is to learn about a person's character, how they treat their family, how they treat their friends, how they treat strangers. And that means so much because when you are in a world where everything is microwave to you so fast in 30 seconds, you could have a whole meal, you could have a full show, you could have the download of the news. There's so many things that are moving fast. But being able to talk to somebody who not only wants to see you grow as a business, they want to see you grow as a person. And I love that Sharmila has a great spiritual bond with herself, but she's connecting that to her friends and family and traveling around the world and being able to connect that her experiences with other people's experiences. Because remember, all of these conversations are just bridges. That's what we are. We're creating these bridges so that we can like find unity, you know. The things that separate us are not as important as the things that bring us together because we are stronger together, right? Because you do not want to cross a bridge with only 3 planks. Trust me, I've seen it on the use of tubes. Them people look scared. They look like they're about to lose their mind, and I don't like being scared like that. Look at me. I don't want to do it. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoy the podcast. I hope that you found some spiritual connection, but also you have a little bit more of an understanding about digital marketing because I'm still learning about it and I'm in a digital space. It's like a new language is all I can tell you. If you guys would please like, subscribe, follow. What did I say? Find the pigeon and send it to me, darlings. I would truly appreciate it. We want to grow our community and create more conversations around healing and understanding each other. It's so important. Remember, being able to articulate your feelings, wants, needs, and desires is the best way to advocate for yourself and the people that you love. And you ain't gonna mess with my loved ones because I said so. Y'all be good. Bye. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope you found some healing, connection, and joy. Until next time, bye, loves.